Welcome to From Chaos to Clarity, the systems you need to grow your agency in 2025. My name is Dr. William Attaway, and I want to start today with a question. Are you actually running your agency or your business, or is it running you? Think about your last week. How much of your time was spent fixing client problems, chasing down your team for updates, or rewriting something that should have been done right the first time? How many hours did you spend on the real work of scaling, building systems, developing leaders, and landing high value clients? If your answer is not enough, then here's the hard truth. Your agency or your business is stuck because you're stuck. It's not because you're lazy. You've been working harder than anyone. Late nights, early mornings, barely keeping up. But let me tell you something that no one else will. Working harder isn't the answer. If that alone was the solution, you'd already be where you want to be. Scaling your business or scaling your agency isn't about doing more. It's about thinking differently. It's about getting out of the day-to-day grind and stepping into the role that your business actually needs. A CEO who leads with clarity, who builds empowered teams, and who drives consistent growth without sacrificing their health, their family, or their sanity. In this webinar today, I'm going to show you the same systems that I have used with leaders in seven-figure agency, Height Committed Mastermind, and Prospecting on Demand. These are agency owners who were stuck just like you, but who made the shift to lead smarter and scale sustainably. So let's talk about why you're stuck and how we're going to fix it. I mean, you know that something isn't working. Now let's get specific. Why do so many agencies fail to scale? It's not because you don't have great clients or deliver great work. It's because your agency relies on you for everything. You are at the center of the spider web and everything connects to you. Every decision comes across your desk. Here's what your day probably looks like. You're jumping between client calls, trying to smooth over issues that really shouldn't even exist. You're rewriting deliverables because your team didn't get it right. You're covering for someone who dropped the ball again, and you're scrambling to meet deadlines. And in the rare moments you have time to think about growth, you're pulled back into the grind because there's no one else to handle it. Does that sound familiar? Here's the hard truth. If you are doing all of this, you are not scaling. You are surviving. And you've hit a ceiling because your agency is built around you. You're the bottleneck. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, if I don't do it, it won't get done. It certainly won't get done right. That's the lie that we tell ourselves to justify staying where we are, staying in the grind. But here's the reality. You can't grow an agency where every decision flows through you. You can't build a team that takes ownership if you don't trust them to deliver. And you can't lead strategically if you're too busy fixing mistakes, chasing clients, and managing timelines. That's why most agencies fail to grow and scale. It's not about the tools that you're using, though there's so many great ones, right? It's not about the tools. It's not even about the clients that you're chasing. It's about leadership, your ability to step out of the weeds and build systems that run without you. I have coached hundreds of agency and business owners who felt stuck in this exact spot, overwhelmed, overworked, and unsure how to break through. What they realized is this: the problem isn't their team. The problem isn't the market. It's the way they're running their business. It's the choices they're making. But the good news is this isn't permanent. You can make different choices. And once you learn how to lead, not manage, but truly lead, you can break out of that grind. You can build systems that scale, and you can finally take your agency and your business to the next level. So, how do you stop being the bottleneck? That's the question, right? How do you start leading an agency that grows sustainably? Well, it comes down to three core systems: goal setting systems, team empowerment systems, and leadership mindset systems. These are the foundation for scaling your agency the right way without sacrificing your time, your health, or your sanity. Let's start with the first one: goal setting and execution systems. Without a clear destination, it does not matter how hard you work. You're going nowhere fast. It is really hard to hit a goal if you can't see it, if you can't define it. Every successful agency is built on clear, measurable goals that drive alignment across your entire team. These goals cannot just live in your head. They need to be understood by everyone, broken into actionable steps, and tracked consistently. For example, let's say your goal is to increase monthly recurring revenue by 30% this year. What specific steps does your team need to take? What systems need to change? Who's accountable for each milestone? Do you have the right team members to do that? Do you have enough team members to do that? Here's a good first step. Start by mapping out your top 3 priorities for the next quarter. Let's paint that picture with as many brushes and colors as we can. Define what success looks like so that everyone sees it. Break it into steps, and then make sure that your team understands how they fit into the bigger picture. When everyone is aligned and everyone can see the goal, execution becomes consistent and results will follow. The second systems are team empowerment systems. Here's the truth. If your team cannot operate without you, you are not leading. You are managing. And in fact, you're probably micromanaging. And micromanagement is the death of scalability. So often I see business owners and agency owners delegating responsibility, but not authority. If you want to create a high-performing team does not just execute tasks. They take ownership of outcomes, but that does not happen automatically. You as the leader have to set the tone here. It requires clear expectations, accountability, and an environment where your team is set up to succeed. If your team is constantly missing deadlines, is that a talent issue? Is that the people that you have, your team? Or are the expectations unclear? If they're coming to you for every decision, is it because they're afraid of failing? Or is it because you've trained them to rely on you? This might be uncomfortable, but I want you to take a hard look at your team's performance this week. Where are the breakdowns happening? Are your expectations clear? Are you holding them accountable consistently? Identify one area where you can give your team more ownership this week, not just responsibility, but authority, and watch them rise to the challenge. The third set of systems are leadership mindset systems. Now, the hardest system to build is not in your CRM. It's not in your workflows or your processes. It is in your mindset. As the leader, your mindset sets the tone for how your agency operates. As I heard recently from a guest on my podcast, leaders create the weather. I love that. If you are stuck in reactive mode, if you are just constantly putting out fires, fixing problems, second guessing decisions, and holding on to tasks because, well, no one can do it better than me, you, my friend, are blocking your business's growth. You are blocking your agency's growth. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take 15 minutes today to reflect on where you are spending your time. Ask yourself, are you focusing on growth activities or are you just putting out fires? What is one thing that you are holding on to that your team could handle? Letting go of those tasks is not easy. I get it, but it is the only way to create space for growth. Now, when you implement these systems, things are going to change because you're making different choices. Imagine for just a second your team taking ownership so you don't have to micromanage every project. They're not just taking care of tasks. You've given them authority. Imagine consistent revenue growth without you chasing clients or scrambling to meet deadlines. Imagine stepping into the role of CEO, knowing your agency is running like a well-oiled machine, and not because you put on a cape and swoop in to save the day. I'm guessing you don't have a cape hanging in your closet. I certainly don't. That is the ripple effect of leadership. It starts with clarity, with aligning your goals, with empowering your team, and with shifting your mindset. And when you get these systems into place, when you're intentional about them, the results speak for themselves. Growth, consistency, and the freedom to focus on the bigger picture. Everything we've talked about today, the systems, the mindset, the tools, this is just the beginning. If you are ready to stop spinning your wheels and start scaling intentionally, I've created something to help you take the next step. It's called Catalytic Leadership, Ignite Agency Growth. Now, this isn't just another freebie. It's a set of actionable resources that are designed specifically for agency owners like you, leaders who are tired of feeling stuck and who are ready to step into their role as CEO, a role no one else will fill. Here's what's inside. First, the Leadership Influence Assessment. Pinpoint exactly where your leadership is holding your agency back and how to fix it. Second, the annual goal setting workbook. This is going to help you to create a clear plan for growth and align your team around measurable goals that actually move the needle. Third is the Empowering Teams template. This is going to help you learn how to build a high-performing team that delivers results and takes ownership, not just tasks, not just responsibility, but authority, without relying on you for every decision. And then the Mindset Worksheet. This is going to help you to break free from the limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck and help you to lead with confidence and with intention. Let me be clear. Nothing will change until you change it. Nothing will change until you take action. 2025 has already started. Do not let another month go by. Do not let another year go by when you are stuck in the same place, when your agency is stuck in the same cycle. I'm going to invite you to click the link in the chat or in the description to download Catalytic Leadership, Ignite Agency Growth. It's free, but the strategies inside can transform your business and your life. This is what I want for you. I want you to experience the freedom that comes from what we're talking about. This is your chance to stop managing and start leading your team, your clients, and your business, to stop surviving and start scaling. The only question is, will you take it? Click the link and make 2025 the year where your agency finally breaks through. Scaling your agency isn't easy, but it's possible. And it doesn't have to cost you your health, your family, or your sanity. Leadership is the key, and you already have what it takes. The systems I've shared with you today are the first steps toward building the agency that you have always envisioned. It is possible. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I cannot wait to see how you use what we've learned today, what I've shared with you to grow your agency and to create the impact and the success that you know is possible. Here's to your growth and to your leadership in 2020.